Hello everyone, CMeeCraft here, and welcome to Book of Hours. I have no idea what this game is about. Presumably it has something to do with books, maybe something to do with time. It seemed intriguing on the store page. I like a good book, so seemed up my alley, so let's get into this and see what exactly we have in store here in Book of Hours. Let's go. The good, the bad, the ugly. The librarian has left the world behind. This has its advantages, but also its price. Braunkrug, March 7th, 1936. There's been no librarian at Hush House since the fire 7 years now. 7 years now. Suitable candidates are very difficult to find, but perhaps we have found one in you. Take care on your journey. The seas around Braunkrug are treacherous. Okay. Saint Brandon's Cove. Navigating Braunkrug. Left click to interact with objects and rooms. Right click to use the cursor keys to move your view around or change keys and settings. Okay. Guess we can look. Braunkrug Village. Braunkrug Village, sanctuary in the storm. I'll need help to climb the cliffs in the dark, and the locals are suspicious of outsiders. More than ever, so since the restoration and the new king. Okay. What else we got? What's this? The cold comes first. Thunder growling, waves pounding, and finally me, sprawled on the sodden sand of the beach. There's something in my hand. Okay. St. Brandon's Cove. Here the sea ends and the world begins. Or the other way around. After storms, the fishermen of Braunkrug Village find oddities washed up here. This place lies beyond the bounds of the house. What am I supposed to be doing? Let's see. Go to threshold. To the threshold of the house. You can only keep 5 things in your belongings. A 6th item will be abandoned unless it already has a home. Abandoned items will wait for you outside the house. Am I stupid? Left click to interact with objects and rooms. Right click or use cursor to move your viewer. Okay. There's some power lines. Maybe if we play. Guess not. No memories and lessons, no elements of the soul, no skills and language. I got no belongings. Powers. There's something in my hand. Oh, wait, do I click on one of these? Health, half drowned. Shivers rack my soaked body. Your health is failing. Find somewhere to warm up. Memory, storm. There are storms great enough to shake the moon from the sky and one's thoughts from one's skull. And a drowned book, the one possession I kept from the shipwreck. It must be important to me. The aspects below tell you more about how and where you can use the item. Mouse over them to learn more. Okay. I will collect those. What do I have left to work with? Okay, so I've got hearts. So my health. Why is my health deteriorating? Is my health deteriorating? That doesn't seem great. Here, maybe I can do something here. Okay. Okay, so I'll need to climb the cliffs in the dark. Let's see, what would help? We got hearts to deal with the storm. sky, wind, storm, echoes, intricacies, memory, and maybe my health, winter, element of the soul, malady. Here, I'll use my health. I'll use my memory of the storm. I'll use this book. I need to find somewhere to warm up, apparently. Okay, what about this thing? The tidal flats. Browncook is a tidal island. At low tide, you could walk there, though you probably shouldn't. Okay. Alright, well, let's take a look at my things. Okay, so memory of the storm. What? So, apparently heart. The heart, relentless beats to protect the skin of the world. We understand. The heart is the principle that continues and preserves. Also sky, wind, storm, echo, song. The intricacies of mathematics and the principles of flight. Law's touch is lighter than we sometimes think. Matters of balance, harmony, and necessity. Balance made for climbing a cliff. Memory, something remembered, might be something understood. Memories can be used to help with crafting to upgrade skills. Memories disappear each dawn except persistent ones. Okay. Then we got health, so we already know what heart is. Winter. Winter is the principle of silence, of endings, and of those things that are not quite dead. Element of the soul. The human soul is composed of 9 elements, and this is one. Most other things have simpler souls. Each soul card can be used once a day for the kind of things you do with your soul. That usually means talking to people or crafting. Malady. Something has snared or sickened my soul. Soul cards can be malady tainted when you're exposed to dangerous influences. Sometimes when you fail in a task. Maladies cannot be exhausted, but your soul is altered and weakened, and can therefore be serious consequences if they go untreated. Soaked. In peril of dissolution. Intervene quickly, but not hastily. And then we got the drowned book, which is a thing. The gentleman makes things his servants. The petty man is servant to things. Readable. There are worse things to put in your eyes than this. Journal. I began before this book, but it'll end when I do. And it's soaked. Okay, so... Can I look at this? I remember. Perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. Book plus memory? There was a storm. It smashed the ship like an egg, but I seized this book as the sea seized me. Then the sea brought me here to Brownkrug. Okay. Why is that on 5? Oh, it'll take 5 seconds to remember. Gotcha. I got 4 minutes before I presumably die. Okay. Now, alright. Okay, so it's like a game about crafting, I guess. There was a storm. It smashed the ship like an egg. But I seized this book as the sea seized me. Then the sea brought me here to Brownkrug. And Brownkrug is where I wanted to be. But it's hard to remember why. What else did I lose in the storm? Memory, chore. Chore is exuberance, instinct, rhythm. Do those mean something? Memory, fet? Fet is that part of us which dreams. Are dreams important to me? Memory, shapt? Shapt is eloquence and also understanding. The door opens both ways. Is my soul open to knowledge? What do I have left to work with? Okay. Great. Let's see. Let's look at shafts. I can't get my thoughts straight, but there's something in my hand. Your single remaining possession is in the block. Okay, so I gotta use a thing, I guess. There we go. Perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. What about my shafts? The human soul has 9 parts. Eloquence and understanding rise from that part of the soul we call shafts. Is my shaft strong? Recover this. The other 2 postures will be lost to the sea for now. Okay, so I'm choosing. Do I want it to be... What was it? So we have Shapt, which is Eloquence, Fet, Dreams, and Exuberance, Instinct, Rhythm. I think we'll go for Shapt. I like the idea of being a bit of a silver tongue. That'll take 5 seconds. Okay. This is the coast where Brownkrug Isle lies. My sources briefed me thoroughly about the place, and I know there's no way I can cross to the isle in these seas. I'll need to find shelter for the night. Memory. Faust. Memory. Oh, hold on. What is Faust? Faust is sight, perception, inspiration, all the glorious gifts. Is my soul a bright soul? Metal. Metal is the capacity for meaningful choice. Did I prove my metal? Arab. Arab is pride, compassion, hatred, and fear. Do those passions burn in me? Whist. Whist is the name, the memory, that part which remains. Is it important to me that things endure? Okay. So, alright, so now... Okay, I think I'm starting to understand the system. So this is memories and lessons. We combine those with items to turn them into parts of my... elements of my soul, I guess. And maybe eventually we can get skills and languages. So, book. Perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. Of these, what do I want? And Faust seems like the most useful, honestly. Faust is the light within. Sight, perception, inspiration. Choose strong Faust and a past with a pursuer who can see the light within you. The waves will wash away the others for now. That, or I think it could be fun. If this is sort of roleplay, it could be fun to play Shapt plus Arab. Is the shadow in the soul's cellar. Pride, fear, hatred, compassion. Choose a strong Arab and a past where your passions are paramount. The waves will wash away the others for now. I think this could be a fun way to do this. We'll go for Arab. That'll take 5 seconds. Great. I wanted something I didn't have. I don't have very much at all now, do I? I suppose that should make it easier. First things first, I remember there's something in the village, or someone in the village, who will give me sanctuary, if I can get there. Mysteries have been added to your journal. You can begin to investigate them when you and your journal are both dry. Interesting. So we have Arab now as an element of the soul. We also have an old friend's address. Mrs. Kyle is the handywoman, the midwife of Brownkrug village. I knew her long ago in Paris, when her surname was not Kyle, but Raveline, and her sister was a viscountess. Her home is always open to me, though she's asked me not to bring up the title thing with Mr. Kyle's around. I can find shelter for tonight under their roof, once I've reached Brownkrug village, that is. Alright, can I do journal plus... I should dry this book out before I try to read it. Okay, so I guess I'm done with that. I guess I could... Okay, so I can't craft those in here. So, shelter. Brownkrug village must be nearby, but it's hard going, dragging my soaked body across the soaked sand in the teeth of this wind. Which way? I guess I'll find out in 8 seconds. Okay. Memory. Fear. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Help. Above me, atop the cliffs, lies Brownkrug village. I'll never reach it in this storm. But if I can only muster my remaining strength to find help, clicking a slot will highlight cards and objects which can go there. Oh, so I can use my Shapt to get help. Good to know. Perhaps there's someone out there even in this weather. I can fill my lungs and bellow for help. That would also mean I don't need to crawl any further. Huh. I'm still not quite sure exactly what all of these things do. At last I see the light of a hurricane lamp bobbing in the dark as it approaches. A face glimmers above the lamp. My shaft is now fatigued. A fisherman's assistance. A fisherman from Brown... I should pause the game so I don't die. A fisherman from Brown Crook Village. He can guide me up the cliff path, if he trusts me. The aspects below tell you more about how and where you can use this card. Mouse over them to learn more. Or see what other things also have these aspects. Oh, so this just tells you that other things have those aspects. Gotcha. Speak to visitors, assistants, strangers, friends. I guess I should speak to the fisherman's assistant. Come no closer. What's thy business? An old friend's address, sir. May someone let us speak for, eh? Of course, since 1930 and the Restoration, locals have grown ever more suspicious of foreigners. But there is someone in Browncrook I know. And let's allay this suspicion before I die. I'll take you by the cliff then. This gentleman is no longer skeptical. Use him to unlock Browncrook Village. Okay. So now we go to Browncrook. Guidance. The fisherman. Okay. I think I'm starting to get a handle on this. In the Isle's shadow, I found my way through the storm to Browncrook Village. Why, hello, Browncrook Village. Okay, Sweet Bones, locked. After the restoration of 1930, the new king's agents came looking for his enemies in these parts, and they weren't gentle about it. Since those days, the locals are suspicious of foreigners. No one in the Sweet Bones will talk to me. The smithy, locked. Denzel Smith has more work than he needs, and he rarely opens his door to strangers. You need an introduction or a mutual acquaintance marked with edge, force, or heart. Someone in a similar trade, or someone who can appeal to his secret passion for saffron cake. Okay. The post office, locked. The postmistress may have something for me, once I know what to ask for. Mr. and Mrs. Kyle, locked. Mrs. Kyle, the midwife, is tall and gloomy. Mr. Kyle, the undertaker, is slight and wry. In these troubled times, both are wary of strangers. You need a suitably marked introduction check. The slot. Well, this is an old friend's address. Mrs. Kyle struggles with the door. The wind almost snatches it from her hands. The storm wind plucks at you both. Right, I need shelter. Help me, I'm dying. Mrs. Kyle opens the door with caution, but flings it wide, letting the wind bang it when she sees me. Thank you, Mrs. Kyle. You're a lifesaver, truly. Mr. K constructed the bed himself. I rather fear with the same tools he uses to shake coffins. It is not a comfortable bed, but it's dry, clean, and warm. Okay, so that's working. We can look at other stuff. The rectory, locked. Reverend Timothy is a hospitable soul, but Terence, his housekeeper, guards her employer fiercely. She doesn't want his innocent theological enthusiasms getting him in trouble with the new king's men. You need an introduction or a mutual acquaintance marked with a lantern, knock, or sky. Perhaps someone who shares his interest in theology or poetry. Alright. We have taken shelter with the Kyles. Mrs. K and I sit up late talking over old times in the Latin Quarter. When the world and we were very different, or when the world and we were very different. Mr. K listens as he cleans his pipe. Wine and roses, he observes. Suppose the wine is all spilt now, but the roses will come up again, won't they? Hindsight. Some things we can only really understand when they're gone. Health. My health is better. Hooray. Mrs. Kyle, the midwife, is... Okay, so at the front room. Could we put anything here? Don't seem to be able to. I got hindsight, though. Any... What... Have we... I think we've looked at just about all of them. Oh, I bet my book is dry. No, it's not dry. Okay. I should find a way to dry it. Hopefully. So what might we do now? So this is locked. The mist-cloaked bridge. Every so often someone builds a bridge to the Isle. Each bridge lasts 100 years, or 200, then the sea disposes of it. There was built in the 1890s. This was built in the 1890s, and that makes it the newest bridge. But that doesn't mean it's new, so it needs repairs. But we don't have anything that would help with that even remotely. Okay. So, we're suspicious of foreigners. Nothing's coming up that's gonna help me with most of this. Post office. Nothing I know of that I need to get from the post office. He's a hospitable soul. Back to the Kyles. Hey. I guess I can use some Arab. Mrs. Kyle's mood always improves when I drop by. If you don't choose a topic, Mrs. Kyle will offer help as a friend. Mrs. Kyle stands ready to help. You always cheer me up, she says morosely. Hey, can you help me with my book? Mrs. Kyle, gloomy as always, kind as ever, lights the kitchen fire and helps me dry the book, while Mr. Kyle saws away in the next room. Birth always leaves marks, she opines as she carefully tucks fragments of muslin between the damp pages. Not quite sure why my Arab was what's helped with that. Okay. A silken book. The binding is unusual and half familiar. Some kind of silk. It survived its soaking remarkably well. And now I'm fatigued in Arab. Mrs. Kyle, the midwife, is tall and gloomy. Yeah, she can also whittle and paint. Interesting. So I guess now we should observe the book. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to become chewed and digested. Studying requires effort. You always need a suitable soul card. Unfortunately, I think I'm fatigued with all of them. And I don't quite know how to refresh them. That's tough. What's this? Guidance. No one could guide me here. Oh, what's this? A walk on the moor. Clamber up into the long reaches of the moors behind the village. Lean into the wind's fluttering fist. If I know what to look for, I might find something among the rocks. So I can have effort, so I guess we would use health for that. And I don't have any knowledge, but could I do it with just effort? No, I would need some kind of knowledge with it too. Okay, curious. Oh, I could talk to people. But how do I refresh these? Maybe just with time? What the heck? The Tree of Wisdoms? Scholars and adepts Recognize 9 wisdoms, though they disagree where one wisdom ends and another begins. Something for me to think about. Travel the Tree of Wisdom to learn secrets and gain elements of the soul. Sought Rescue Journal. What's this? Illumination 1. How do I do any of this? Oh. Well, that's interesting. I feel like I might be too early to actually do anything. What's... Where am I? Oh, sheesh. And what's this? That's the menu. I don't have any clue how to refresh these. I feel like I could do some stuff if they were refreshed.